choose to become an entrepreneur because of a passion for children.
I wanted to actually open a clinic which focuses on quality patient care and operates at international standards.
Why I became an entrepreneur was that my father was the owner of Denver Garments and he passed 10 years ago. Myself, along with the rest of my family members, took on the task of keeping his legacy going. The HerVenture app for me was fantastic. It was precise, concise, and the terminology that was used was very easy to understand.
The initial challenge was getting persons to come into the mall to receive full medical services. However, we implemented marketing strategies that were able to actually increase foot traffic.
One of the major challenges faced as an entrepreneur is access to finance. HerVenture app really assisted me in building that self-confidence. Today, I'm confident that I can approach the bank with a solid business proposal, and there's a high chance of me having that investment to expand the business.
I think it was a wonderful creation having this app created. With the digital marketing platform, you learn to systemize certain things in the business. It actually tremendously increased my clientele.
As a doctor, I do not have business exposure. I am now able to juggle both responsibilities a bit better.
I believe that supporting women, we are creating better world leaders. When you educate a woman, you educate a nation. And that is what will truly allow us to evolve, not just as a nation, but globally.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Charity Wallace of Wallace Global Impact and our esteemed panel.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending. I am so thrilled to be here this afternoon to talk about a seat at the table. And a spot for the procurement pipeline. This is a really interesting conversation to have with some friends that I've known for a long time and a new friend that I have. So I'm pleased to be joined today by Cherie Blair, who is here with us. She is the leading King's Counsel. She's the founder of the Cherie Blair Foundation. She's the wife of former Prime Minister Tony Blair. And we just realized that we were on our first trip together in 2005 in Rwanda.
And neither of us has changed a bit.
That's exactly right, of course, of all these years. So Cherie's just done amazing work. She's a champion for women's economic empowerment. The work that her foundation is doing is really transformational. And we'll get to hear, you saw some of it, but we'll get to hear how that's taking place in Guyana. Jim Jones is an old friend as well. And Jim is the director of the Global Community Investment Programs and Strategy at ExxonMobil Corporation. In his role, he oversees ExxonMobil Foundation's major community investments in global health, international education, and women's economic empowerment and opportunities. Jim is an enormous champion for women, and we need male champions. So we're thrilled that Jim is on the stage with us today, and they've been a great partner with the Cherie Blair Foundation for years. Bobita Ram is the general manager of Mobile Money Guyana. In her role, she joined the team in 2019 as the general manager and director, and she's responsible for growing its base of users and implementing successful partnerships. So she's been a great partner with the Cherie Blair Foundation, which we'll talk a little bit more about. She charts the mission of the company and has steadfastly grown its adoption all across Guyana. And the interesting part about, when I was studying for this panel and learning a little bit about what's going on in Guyana, it is in rapid growth. And I'm sure most of you know that. But we want to jump in to think about where are we now? So Guyana is growing at, some say 20%, some say 40%, which is pretty incredible. And one of the things that this partnership is doing is ensuring that women are not left behind, that they have the capability as entrepreneurs to really fully engage in this partnership and in the growth of their economy and of their country. So, Bobita, I actually want to start with you just briefly. What's the current situation for women? Like, as the economy has significantly grown, tell us just very briefly that current situation for women.
Thank you, Charity. So, for sure, what we're seeing is so many emerging industries, so many things that didn't occur 10 years ago. For example, relocation services. It wasn't an industry 10 years ago in Guyana. Women in Guyana today are, before their eyes, they're seeing opportunities arising for them to enter the workforce, to start their own businesses. 2 weeks ago, 20 women from the hinterland region. So those of you who know Guyana would know that 80% of our country is forest and hinterland region, 20% is the coastline. And those women in the hinterland region did not have some of the opportunities that they're having now. The government rolled out a program on maritime training. So Guyana is the land of many waters. There are 3 huge rivers and a lot of river transport. Now, could you imagine these 20 women who would not have had this opportunity 10 years ago are now trained to pursue careers in the maritime industry, opening up all sorts of doors for them. And there's so many other examples. There's the WIN program. The government has rolled out its Women Innovation and Investment Network, where grants have been given to women to start their small businesses, to adopt technology, and to really now have a seat at the table, as our topic says, right?
Exactly.
And play a part in all that's happening in Guyana.
That's terrific. So Cherie, we saw a little bit in the video about what you are doing in Guyana, but tell us a little bit more about the partnership, the growth that you've seen, all the evaluation that you've done, the lessons learned.
Well, we are so excited by our partnership in Guyana. When we first went into Guyana with the help of ExxonMobil as a pilot almost,
Right.
in 2021, we thought, well, we might be able, with our Her Venture app, you've heard that,
Yes.
maybe we could reach 3,000 women in a year. Within months, we'd reached 5,000 women.
Yes.
And we realized that there was this huge pent-up demand. And what made a big difference was actually coming together with Bobita, with GTT, the telecom company,
Right.
the biggest telecom company in Guyana, and particularly with your idea, which we embraced, which was to take onto the Her Venture app this mobile money track.
Right.
And you were so helpful with that, with giving us advice about what to do to encourage women to understand, by using mobile money, how much that could help them grow and expand and keep track of the money that's coming in to their business. And we're constantly learning from the women of Guyana what they want and what they are already achieving. And some of those women you saw there were telling their stories. I think of Alana, another one who's the first eco business, which is all about encouraging people to recycle, to use the right packaging. And she talks about how learning from the Her Venture app about the skills and how to manage a business. We saw it with the women there too. This idea, I am good at what I do, but do I actually know how to turn that into a business that generates profit, that generates growth? And that's the aim of the Her Venture app, It's aimed to be done in manageable, bite-sized pieces for busy women who don't have time because they're too busy earning the money, running the family, making sure they get the kids to school. So it's designed to actually work for them where they are. And we've got 91% satisfaction rates. 91% of the women we've worked with have actually increased their business because of the Her Venture app. And we know there's a huge demand. I think it's fair to say, Bobita, that at the moment we've been focusing more around Georgetown, the capital, and over the river there's the next biggest area. But we want to go further because this is a real opportunity for the women that Bobita was talking about, the women who live in those hinterland areas, you know, where essentially not much has reached them. And by putting the mobile phone in their hand and giving them access to information and tools that enable them to use those tools to make their businesses bigger and better and more efficient and making more money, it's such an opportunity in Guyana. And I know that we can really make sure that this amazing development that's happened, thanks to ExxonMobil and their faith in Guyana, which led to the discovery of oil, that we're going to have a situation where women get their fair share of the benefits and the wealth that is coming into the country, and that's shared about. So it's not just the capital, it is in fact spread throughout the country. And such is the power of technology that we can do that. One of the great things, of course, that you've done is to, in fact, give some of the women who didn't have a mobile phone, mobile phones, have made data available to them so that the women can actually see the benefit of having this tool in your hand, because the mobile phone is such an amazing tool for women entrepreneurs.
That's right, yeah. It's amazing. So Jim, when you think about that, we don't want, as the economy grows, we don't want women to be left behind, because we know when women fully participate in society, especially economics, how much GDP increases. So talk about ExxonMobil's long-term commitment to women's economic empowerment. You all have been partners with the Cherie Blair Foundation since forever. And so talk a little bit about, you know, the partnership, why you're so committed to women's economic
Charity, I think that Lady Blair answered this in the beginning of her comments to a large extent. She kind of made the business case for this.
Sure.
And talking about the potential of women in Guyana and the hunger and the demand for this program.
Right.
We invest in women's economic empowerment, not just because it's kind of a fun thing to do, you know, when we're doing our business. It's core and it's central to our business. Women are an untapped resource of economic activity in every country of the world, especially in developing countries, but frankly also in the United States. So by any measure, looking at it from a business proposition, investing in women means you're increasing your supplier base, which drives down costs because there's more competition among your suppliers. It increases your pipeline talent in the company. It increases economic activity in communities. And we, like every other private sector company, depend on prosperity in order to grow as a business. Sure. So if you talk to some of the leading multinational corporations in the world, Coca-Cola, Walmart, Goldman Sachs, us, Procter & Gamble, the investment is so heavy in women's economic empowerment, both from a community basis, but also from a business perspective. That's why we invest probably almost $500 million a year in women-owned businesses as part of our supply chain. But that's not the end of the story. We can do so much more, and that's why working with the Cherie Blair Foundation for Women, first in Nigeria, then in Mexico, and now in Guyana, is vitally important as a component to meet those goals. They're not ExxonMobil's goals in communities, it's the country of Guyana's goals. And so we're trying, and we have a great partner in the government of Guyana to try and affect change in this way. So for us, it's just the right thing to do from a business perspective.
And to your point, partnerships make such a difference. I mean, it's the real key to actually making transformational change on the ground. And, you know, all of us here know that. But the government, the local government is critical. the NGOs that come in who can work, they know the people on the ground, the big companies that are there that want to ensure that those communities are successful, both for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the people in the country. And then, thinking about these partnerships. So I know that you all leverage other partners like Mobile Money Guyana. And so talk, Bobita, about the partnership, the digital divide. We've talked about actually throughout the day how critical that is and significant it is for women in particular. But really, as you've thought about it, as you've come alongside as a partnership, describe the importance of that, where women are from the digital divide perspective.
Sure. So Lady Blair mentioned we actually gave phones at the beginning because we thought of, here we are, partnering with a wonderful foundation. Here's an amazing app that has learnings for women how to grow their businesses. And then we thought to ourselves, well, how many of them may be barred from this opportunity because they don't have a phone, they don't have data.
Right.
And so we ensured that they had that sort of, that enabling tool for accessing this amazing technology. What we've also found is with the technology on a phone, so as I mentioned, Guyana has a hinterland area. Women in the hinterland may not be able to come out to the city to go to a place of learning. One of the university, for example, the University of Guyana, they have many private schools that teach techniques in business. Here we are giving this to them in their hands, in their communities. And then the other thing we recognized was the pairing of two trusted brands. So our brand is trusted. We are the largest telco provider in Guyana. Mobile Money Guyana reaches over 10% of the population. They trust us today to do their financial transactions. And why not put our hats in the ring? Why not partner with the Cherie Blair Foundation for Women and really now say, you know what, we're going to walk the talk. We're going to actually put learnings in the app that now tells them, how can I expand my reach? I'll give you an example. Many persons in Guyana, they make products, preserves, soap, all sorts of crafts and all of that, but they're in the interior. And for a long time, they thought, well, my marketplace would be the people who come to the interior or the people within that community. Now with technology, they're able to showcase those products. They're able to learn how to do it through the learnings in the app, and then they're able to enable people to pay for those products through mobile money. So all in all, it was just a win-win-win for everyone involved.
I think you're right. The Her Venture app, particularly during COVID, we did a lot of work in the various places we were delivering that Her Venture app on how can you use internet marketing. Because suddenly women were finding, who'd previously done face-to-face in their community, well, no one's going face-to-face anymore. So we have already a lot of learning on the app, and one of the tracks, as well as the mobile money, is exactly that, about how do you reach out beyond your local community to get new business, bring your business to the attention of others. And we've been very lucky. We always partner with local partners. So as well, of course, as Mobile Money Guyana, we've also been working with Action Invest Caribbean, which is a private company which provides some of those business trainings that you talked about, Bobita, and they too have pushed this out among the people that they work with and have helped us make sure that the information that's on the Her Venture app is Guyana specific and therefore is telling them the things they need to know about how to comply with the requirements of running a business in their country, not just a general, but actually specific. And that's also very, very important. But partnership is the key. The government's been they've been so supportive.
Oh, extremely. And I think, Charity, one thing that we can look in a country like Guyana, as opposed to Nigeria or Mexico, is that Guyana has a population of 800,000 people, right? So for us, I think one of the big things in terms of corporate philanthropy is that we're so often stuck in doing pilots, and we get this pilot-itis that we're going to try something out and we're going to see if it works. And we stay in that space for a really long time and don't bring things to scale. I think this program in a country like Guyana that's going through enormous economic transformation with a relatively small population is a prime case for us to take this program to scale in a country country where it's manageable, and frankly, I think aspirationally, reach almost every woman entrepreneur in that country. I think it's doable.
I do.
But we already reached 1 in 20 women.
That's right.
And that's just without even really trying.
Right.
But if we make a concerted
Well, I was
effort, well, we were trying, but we didn't realize the demand. But the demand is so great,
Right.
that we really could show how this partnership approach with the local people using technology can really help in a country that's already on the up. It's having this amazing expansion of its GDP. Let's make sure that everybody gets a fair share of that.
That's right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, but that's a perfect way to end it. And it's this is really such an incredible example of how partnerships work so significantly, the opportunity that you have to really transform a country and never leave any of the women behind, which is what you're trying to do. So we thank you so much for your work and for your commitment to women.
Thank you, Cherie.
Thank you.